السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ما بعد، إخوة الإيمان, the world that we live in is very small in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the parable, an example of its value, is given in the Holy Quran that we read every other time. At a time we are given that it's just like a rain that rains, and the earth could bring its grass and shrubs. And the moment the rain stops, whatever is on the earth disappears. That is world and the investment that we make in it. We are further given an example of the world as a ship, and all who lives on earth, they live in that ship, and the ship is in the deep sea or high sea. We were given how to manage that particular ship with a lot of care. So the parable is that if one of us, perhaps if we want the water, instead of going out and get the water, just create a hole in the ship while in high sea and get the water, the high probability all who are on board of that ship will sink and perish. But if few of us or one of us attempt to do and others prevent him or her, he will be saved, and all who are on board also will be safe. And that is how the world is. Some of us are by nature chaotic and create problems because of shaitan and the nafs that we are. Inna shaitana aduwwun lakum fattakhiduhu عدوا إنما يدعو حزبه ليكونوا من أصحاب السعير. So shaitan is always enemy. He has a lot of experience. Always he shows us this and that. And that is al-amru bil ma'ruf. Always we are commanded to show each other what is good in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and what is not. In that, there is safety for us. It's a protection for all of us. So when a sheikh stands here and each one of us enjoy goods and forbid what is prohibited, it's for the interest of all, for the speaker and for those who also listen. Last Friday, I think there is a pronouncement of the Supreme Court regarding this group called, I don't even know the names, LGBTQRST, I don't know. That group. And it elicited a lot of reactions from the public. Let me commend actually the church and its leader, the way they come out broadly and criticize that decision of the apex court in our land. They come out clearly strongly and condemned that decisions of the court. I don't know whether I don't access the social media of the Muslim fraternity and the leadership. I haven't seen that magnitude of reaction from Muslim Ummah. I have seen few voices from Mombasa and along there. Nairobi being the city, and we have the biggest mosque and institutions and organizations, we are yet to see. Ikhwat al-Iman, the act which the subject under review is a subject that we read in the Holy Quran, a whole nation was perished and punished by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the worst form of destruction. Never happened in the history, because the Quran is a book of history and spiritual as well. This is an incident which is registered and recorded in each and every holy books. That's why the Christians came out very clearly. The same with us. The number of the times that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala repeated in the Holy Quran, we all know very well. فَلَمَّا جَاءَ أَمْرُنَا جَعَلْنَا عَالِيَهَا سَافِلَهَا وَأَمْطَرْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ حِجَارَةً مِّن سِجِّيلٍ مَّنضُودٍ مُّسَوَّمَةً عِندَ رَبِّكَ وَمَا هِيَ مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ بِبَعِيدٍ. The last paragraph is very serious. When those guys, Qawm Lut, insisted on that act, and the Lut have been warning them and warning them, despite the fact that the worst sin that ever committed by a human being is the shirk. But the Quran, what repeatedly telling us, what those guys did was actually, the worst thing which I mentioned is that homosexualism. Despite the fact that there's a shirk in it. But what came out very clearly was the issue of the homosexualism. And when the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala came, what happened? The portion that they were living in on this earth, and Allah has all the powers. We have just seen the other day, within 45 seconds or a minute, I don't know, the whole nation perished. Allah has the power. Has unfettered power to do whatever He wants. It is only by His mercy that we are living and enjoying this life, Ikhwat al-Iman. And we see every other time what happens. But we don't take lesson. Allah says, He raised up the entire portion with His power. He was in the angel, the Jibreel alayhi salam. He raised up there. And then He puts upside down. There is also a noise in it. And then hijaratan min tin musawwamatan inda rabbika. Everybody has his own bullet from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As if that one itself is not enough. It's the worst form of destruction and punishment before the one of the akhirah comes. That's what happened to them. And then Allah says, that's a lesson. That is a lesson. The reason why the Holy Quran normally narrates the qisas. We read a lot of qisas in the Holy Quran, a lot of stories, and what happened, incidences. It's not a history per se, no. It's for us to learn a lesson. Lest we should not engage ourselves with what they engage in, so that we earn that destruction. That is the reason. That's what Allah says. وَمَا هِيَ مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ بِبَعِيدٍ. Such form of destruction and punishment is not far from anybody who ever dare to commit such kind of sin. Allah is adil. Allah is just. Akuffarukum khayrun min ulaikum. Are you disbelievers of the day better than those disbelievers that we destroyed the other day? No. If they were destroyed because of committing a certain sin, then you too will be destroyed if you commit such offense. What our stations which are interested with the regulations of our affairs fail to understand. People claim that these people are human beings, and then the right of human being is all over there. That is not the right of the human being. It's not the right of human being, absolutely. And that law is there to serve the nation, not we serving them. This is what we call in our Sharia, Saddu Dhara'i. If you see that there is a sin to be committed, things that which will not be is not acceptable, what will happen tomorrow? It will get a strength. Let me commend the two judges, Justice Muhammad Ibrahim and Justice Oko, who dissented from that. Their heads are up and they are praised all over in the social media and all over. Ikhwat al-Iman. The thing is that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says in a hadith, Yaghzul Jaysh, a military will move for its expeditions. When they reach a certain place called Bayda, yukhsafu bi awwalihim wa akhirihim. When they reach a certain place called Bayda, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will sink the earth with them from the front to the end, all of them. The land will sink. Allah has the power. We are seeing every time how the land sinks with people. Aisha asked, أَنُخْسَفُوا وَفِيهِمُ الصَّالِحُونَ وَمَنْ غَيْرِهُم. Will they be perished, all of them, while there are people who are innocent within them? He said, yes. Yes. If we think that, the reason why? Because al-khabuth, the evil have spread it, and those who are within it never stop them, never struggle. Therefore, all of them will be perished. ثُمَّ يُبْعَثُ عَلَى نِيَاتِهِمْ. Then before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will face Allah with your own deeds. But the punishment you will face. We too, if we are not He too, what is happening we cannot prevent, and every one of us have the power to prevent, then the punishment is inevitable to come to us. Already we are seeing many of them coming. The drought that we are facing, a lot of economic problems that we are facing, we are seeing. وَلَنُذِيقَنَّكُم مِّنَ الْعَذَابِ الْأَدْنَى دُونَ الْعَذَابِ الْأَكْبَرِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ. Allah is showing us small things here and there. Every one of us have a problem. Each one of us have our own issues. It's because of our own sins. Ikhwat al-Iman, Ahlul Ilm discuss this. What is the penalty placed by the Sharia for the person who commits this kind of sins? The penalty, the Quran says people have been raised and later on all those things happen to them. Can we have such a power to raise the land? We can't have. So some of them say, what you do, you put them in a house, prepare a special house, and then you destroy the entire house with them. That's one form. Other says, you put them on a raised, high-rise building, and you throw them from there. Finish. This is a way. Others says, no. The way to punish is just to use the safe. Chop his head or her head. ملعون من عمل عمل قوم لوط. They were cast. إخوة الإيمان, this is not a simple incident in our nation. These are very serious incidents which we have to mobilize ourselves, even if it means to mobilize our legislators to come out with a very clear legislation on the subject. And we have the power. Some of us are the kingpins. We are not the kings, but we can be kings, isn't it? So these guys who are in the parliament for us, we are the one who created. We are the one who took them there. They are there to serve us. And their role is to create this lawa'ih for us. It is high time. It's high time that we walk up from the slumber that we are in. Muslims, this nation, this country is ours. We are not a second-class citizen. Tuache hizi tabia za kuogopa. Hii tabia kuogopa na kuadhini kwa mtungi. What's wrong with us? We have lawyers all of us who can discuss. I'm seeing some of the lawyers seated in this mosque, South al-Fajr, our lawyers. Very senior lawyers in this country. They can guide us on this thing and other things that happen in the country. This issue of the human rights must have a limit. Somebody told me yesterday, he's not a scholar. He said, what's happening? Why people are not raising any voice? What's going on here? Are we ready to accept this thing? Silent means we accept. Silent means what? We don't, it doesn't matter to us. In fact, until other people that will doubt us that, look, it seems this thing is just normal with the Muslims. This thing is normal thing with the Muslims. Is it normal with us? Is it normal with us? But that is the assumption people will form, actually. If we don't raise our voice, it's just normal for us. Somebody told me he took a taxi yesterday from his home, going to job early in the morning. So that is the talk of the time. People talk. And he said, unfortunately, the other day, I was taking a client. A client is a man. He's a Muslim. He said probably he's a Somali. And he told me, please, just drop me here. I'm waiting for my husband. I'm waiting for who? A man who's supposed to be a husband, a father, is waiting for who? For his husband. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. He said that one is not a Muslim. He said, I'm shocked. I was really shocked. And I told him, please leave my car now. I don't carry such a people. I don't trade with such a people. He said when he insisted, nikatoa rungu. Kale karungu. Ile kamasai. He said, I took my rungu. No, you are an evil person. Leave me alone. He is not a Muslim. Where's the sensitivity? أين الغيرة يا إخوة الإيمان؟ أين الغيرة؟ وصلى اللهم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.